So we get something different. Post-game commentary. So I'm just gonna basically talk about whatever. About the game, whatever. My own thoughts even, but I'm gonna try to keep it mostly on this campaign. But yeah, so right now I'm going over what I bought, and it's nothing really extraordinary, just a supply truck, better anti-tank guns, so the 5cm instead, because we did face that lead, and a better half-track, which is the flamethrower half-track variant, which is really good in urban combat maps, as I've discovered, especially in the Liberation maps, though it's really good there. I'm not sure why I even brought it to this map, but oh well. So now we're starting the beginning of our defensive preparations, and as you can see, this is just a big open field snow map, and our points are basically 2 small villages. My idea here was that you put one anti-tank gun at one key position, right, on the roads, considering that's where the AI is gonna bring down their tanks. So that wasn't hard, right? You can see where the AI is coming from too. The idea being, if that anti-tank gun gets destroyed, we have guys with Panzerfaust and anti-tank grenades hiding behind villages. So when the infantry tries storming the point, we can basically kill them with our infantry, considering that they're coming in piecemeal since they had to go through all these different entrances and doorways, right? And, past these fences. Hold them off for a bit. And the tank is going to try to come closer, or try to kill us. But at that point, we can bring the guy with the Panzerfaust out and just, boom, hit him, hit the tank, dead. And chances are there's a few random stray anti-tank grenades. But yeah, turns out things are not going to be that easy, and the fact that we're kind of confined, well, that kind of made our troops kind of confined into a rather small space. Artillery was going to be the massive pain here. Right, it's going to basically massacre all our troops and make things very difficult for us. But yeah, you're going to see that later on. But yeah, in this Conquest, I'm kind of struggling in terms of research points, because right now, artillery is the biggest hassle to us. They both defensive and offensive mission rate. If we're on the offensive, artillery just hammers us and just destroys a lot of my men, a decent chunk of my men, and then I have to basically go out of range again and, move my men back and just kind of piecemeal in my infantry so I can actually get a little bit of intel to know, like, okay, so, the enemy's got this, the artillery's over here, so stuff like that. While on, defensive missions like this, if we're all confined to a relatively small space and are in a relatively open map, yeah, we just get massacred, and we have to just minimize our losses and then take it, and defend with whatever we have, and cross our fingers and hope that nobody crucial gets murdered, or if somebody crucial does get murdered, have something to help fight back. Another thing that is not ideal is the fact that we don't really have any tanks. We do have tanks. The Leopard 2 is a pretty great vehicle at killing infantry, but the problem is, that's it. It's just good at killing infantry. So to mop up an area, or to send to a point where there isn't a tank, or especially any support weapons, it's great. It's great at that. But you need something a bit bulkier, can't be taken out by light anti-tank guns or anti-air guns. So it does suffer there, and the only other option we have currently is a Panzer III, which I think is the short 5cm gun, but even then it might be the small 37mm gun too, so yeah, it's not great. But we are compensating with the infantry that's more specialized. They actually all have Panzerfaust as a rifle grenade, they have a sniper too, so it helps. But that being said, it's not ideal. So anyways, I'm setting up my anti-tank gun up here, because I thought, oh well, this is a good spot, we can take out tanks, pretty easily. It's in a bush, it's got a sandbag. Oh, nothing bad can happen, and even then we can easily just replenish it with men or repair it, So how naive I was. What's funny is that I wasn't really happy with the audio on my end, because I thought it was very boring. So, I'm kind of glad this happened, that it got deleted, but at the same time, it's not ideal. Especially since I consider this one so far the best mission in the Conquest series, considering that, in my opinion, there's a bit of struggle on my end. So I do think that's a lot more fun. But yeah, here we see is a Stuart, and it opens fire, but yeah, my anti-tank gun makes quick work of that. Well, relatively quick work. Actually, after a while, I get mildly annoyed and just take direct control because, yeah, how do you miss so many shots? And it explodes violently. I feel like I don't have enough time to set up all the infantry I want in Conquest on the defensive missions. Because I feel like I can set it up at like one point, but then at the other point it's just going to be unfinished. But I don't really mind. I do feel like it's part of the challenge. You have a couple minutes, use your time wisely. And you can see that, the defensive line is pretty good. Right? You had the light tank, which gets knocked out pretty easily, and then you have the infantry assaulting us, and just, well, it doesn't melt, but, it falls apart pretty quickly. So I thought, I was pretty confident. This defense is going to be pretty good, It usually is, but yeah, in my opinion, there's something about anti-tank gun crews that just makes them look super cool. I don't know, it's just something about their animations and the way that they're modeled and the way they interact with each other. It makes it look really nice. And I really do like that. But yeah, the mortars, I wasn't really sure what to do here. So I kind of set them up at 2 areas where I think they'd be relatively fine. And, put them on hold fire. Otherwise, they're just going to waste their mortar shells on like 1 infantry. There's another armored vehicle coming up. The anti-tank gun opens fire. It's a scout car. It's a 50 cal. This is where trouble starts. Because I hear the artillery shell getting loud at us. And yeah, I don't really have anything to counter it with. And yeah, that's where I kind of start setting up troops and tanks. And the idea here was, we're going to send like a light tank to come up and quickly take it out before the infantry comes through and kills the tank, right? But yeah, anyways, here's where the howitzer just knocks out the anti-tank gun. And yeah, that was pretty bad. But then I thought to myself, oh hey, the anti-tank gun is still fine, Most of the infantry is dead, but we can still repair it. The last crew member still alive, firing at them. But yeah, another direct hit, and it's no longer functional. It's just a piece of scrap metal. So that's when it kind of hits me that we don't really have anything to defend this point with against any armored vehicles. And that even then, artillery is just gonna come and massacre my infantry piecemeal. And yeah, so this is where I'm trying to play my reckless tactics of basically using a light tank to take out a howitzer before they can reload it. But yeah, there's an anti-tank gun there, and I didn't realize that. So yeah, that makes quick work of my Panzer II. But that did buy us a little time with my infantry, and enough to make me realize that yeah, I should pull these guys back out. As you can see, yeah, they're kind of bunched up in the village, and yeah, quite a few of them get killed. I think this is where I grouped some of the survivors to like fight back and shoot some of the infantry and one of their scout cars, I think. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, so here's a risky gambit, my Panzerfaust. Yeah, the 50 cal does work to the mortar, yeah. Yeah, I basically gave up on them. I didn't fight them there, but I do think I left one guy with the Panzerfaust there to take out the scout car. I think that's the one thing that I did do. Yeah, here's a scout car, and I tossed a grenade over there because I figured, there's a decent chance it's gonna kill somebody. And it didn't do that, but Oh yeah, so that's what I did with the Panzerfaust. I just used it on the infantry and immediately died. So yeah, I got a use out of it, but it's not great. Yeah, here's me taking control of a anti-tank gun, and immediately gets knocked out. So yeah, things are not going great. So yeah, I think this is where I tried luring them in, with the Panzerfaust. So yeah, as you can see, things don't go well, but we do have a couple squads of infantry. As you can see, they're kind of starting to lock in where our men is, and they're all kind of relatively condensed, so it's not ideal. But yeah, here's a whole bunch of them storming down the road, and me trying to position my men in a way that they won't get killed by the enemy's vehicles or howitzers, but also being able to shoot down the roads and whatnot. Yeah, that's where my howitzer starts doing work. I need my mortar. So Gates of Hell is using a new DLC, and if I remember correctly, I believe it follows the American Airborne. Basically, adds a campaign, right? So what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to play that, and, well, I guess upload it. But that being said, I do remember the Liberation campaign missions being a bit long and difficult, and yeah, some of them were fun, but some of them were still a pain. But yeah, that could be interesting to do. Yeah, speaking on their DLCs, I do think, but yeah, it seems like they're doing, basically, it seems they're alternating their DLCs, where one DLC basically adds another campaign on the previous DLCs, right? So you got Tel Aviv Soda, which has the finish and the campaign for them, and then you got the next DLC, which was Scorched Earth, which adds some unique vehicles to the Germans and the Russians, but also adds a new campaign for both of them. And then got the Liberation DLC, which has the American faction, right? So yeah, so after the Airborne DLC, we should be seeing a new faction. And in my opinion, well, my assumption is going to be that's an Axis Power. Because, you know, we had Finish, which was, I mean, not an Axis Power faction, but, you know, technically. As you can see, we're starting to get overrun here, and, yeah, our mortar is the only thing helping kill them because they're so close. It gets decently accurate, and our machine guns down the road, pinning them down. And here I am, pinging out with my submachine gun, killing a few remnants of them. So this is where things get a bit desperate, and I was thinking that maybe I have to pull back. But yeah, my cover gets destroyed, and I see that most of them are dead now. But yeah, the howitzers are still working on us, and but we've mopped up most of them, and yeah, some machine guns are really good at close range. You know, one thing I've been wanting to do is to add like cinematic shots, but I'm not great at that. And part of it is because, you know, when I'm playing, I don't really focus on getting cinematic shots because, you know, but yeah, it's hard to cover the HUD and just get a good shot. And even then, it's like, oh, well, I think the shot would have been better, you know? So I think the only realistic way of me getting good shots is loading up the editor and just figuring out the camera angles and finding the same maps you're playing on and then adding the same lighting. And then from there, having some of the same infantry units and then just moving them around a bunch. You know, that's time consuming. I'm not 100% sure if I get the right shots and stuff, or what I use them for, you know? Fun fact about this YouTube channel, I'm kind of struggling to think about what to record. Because, you know, I thought about Warno, but I'm not great at that. Also, Warno is just one of those games where it's like, I like it a lot, but it's a bit time consuming. I don't know, just something about it, I like it, but it's just missing something, I guess, compared to this. Gates of Hell Ostfront just kind of seems perfect to record. It's not too long, not too short. I can pump something out like once a week easily. Well, I say that, but you know, it's been like once every 2 weeks recently. So I'm trying to figure out what else to make. To be fair, I might just stick to this game, because I do really like this game a lot. And I've invested almost 2,000 hours into this game, which is relatively rookie numbers, but still, not great at it either. I know you were promised to be. Anyways, this is where I discovered that they have flak guns, and then basically any infantry in the open there gets massacred. So I start wondering about how I can kill the crew members and the flak guns safely while also defending this village, because yeah, it limits the spots we can hide in or the areas we can hide behind and actually still kill them, you know. Their howitzer reminded me that yeah, they can see us and try killing us, so it makes it important to be concealed. But yeah, there, as you can see, there's two of the interior guns aiming down at the village trying to kill us, which makes this thing a lot more difficult. So this is where I bring up my sniper, because I kind of realize I have the opportunity here to maybe kill their howitzer, since they've already threw most of the reserves at us. So now they're just sitting in whatever few pieces they haven't sent at us in terms of artillery, vehicles, or even men. So I figured it was relatively safe to do that, but yeah, the sniper gets killed. But yeah, now we enter in like a stalemate. Well, not really a stalemate, but a more quiet part of the battle. You know, it's gonna be interesting editing this. What I'm probably gonna do is just cut up my audio, right? Keep all the relevant bits where I'm talking, right? And then the video is just gonna be me showing off the relevant bits and sticking my audio throughout. Because I do think this is one of the more entertaining Conquest episodes. Yeah, that's a reminder how tense things are when I have an anti-air gun just shooting down at my infantry. The last bits of my infantry that are holding this point and a howitzer that's getting a few pot shots at them. Which one of them knocked out a few of them, killed a few of them, and then another one missed. Kind of reminds me that concealing and proning is very important, in that killing the infantry before the artillery has a chance to aim at us is pretty important. So here's where I realized that I can use a sniper to pick off the anti-air gun crew. And that the anti-air gun doesn't really have the range to shoot at the sniper. Well, at least that's what I thought when I first killed one of the crew members. But yeah, it shoots a few shots at the sniper, but you know, it doesn't really see anything, so it takes a few pot shots and then it stops. So that's where I realized what's happening, so I just take a pot shot, kill one, duck behind a building, rinse and repeat until basically the anti-air gun's just disabled. But yeah, I thought that was a really smart plan until that howitzer shell came crashing into the guy. And I realized that, yeah, well, I can do that, pick off the crew members. The howitzer's gonna kill the sniper. So at this point, killing became very important since, yeah, we're not going to kill the howitzers anymore. We're just waiting until we get enough points to win this game. But yeah, now we won. Hopefully I can do a better job this week and be able to pump out an actual episode once a week at this point. Because, yeah, I do want to have a Conquest series, basically pumping an episode out. Ideally, once every 4 days, but realistically, I'm going to try to do once a week. Do that for a while. With that being said, thank you for watching, and see you next time.